Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, I'm back out in the studio in the woods. Actually brought a tripod. I have my Osmo Pocket 3 on. Anyway, this is just kind of a quick follow-up to the video I just did about converting a pack-safe security shoulder bag into a camera bag, and a little bit about traveling light, traveling minimalist, especially if you're on vacation. So I should say that right now I have the pack-safe pack with me. So I've got that. I've got my LX100 Mark II. I've got my ZS200 in here. So all in all, this is a pretty minimalist kit. No interchangeable lens camera, just two compacts and a DJI vlogging camera. So traveling light. I saw this video by a YouTube photographer, lots of followers, kind of a big channel, and the guy was going on vacation with his wife and family, and he packed just a ton of stuff. He found out that he didn't really use, I think, about half of what he took with. And so I think when you're going to take a trip, especially a vacation, you need to think about what's the goal. Are you going on this trip to primarily take photographs, or are you going on this trip as a vacation and spending time with your family? And so I think if you're on a vacation, I think spending time with your spouse, partner, family, I think that's the important thing. Rest and relaxation. Not thinking too much about things like, oh, I've got all these lenses, which one do I use? All of that stuff. One of my commenters mentioned that they find that the less they take, the better their photos are. And I think there's something to that. Sure, if you're going on a trip where the photographic opportunities are amazing, you're combining photography with a vacation, sure, I understand taking, all of your stuff. Beth and I took a wilderness cruise in Southeast Alaska way back in 2012. And I had a 5D Mark III. I had the 70-300L, the 24-105L, and pretty sure I had an ultra wide of some sort. So I took all that, and we came away with some really nice pictures and some nice video. I also had the G1X, the Mark I, the first one. It was a kind of a slow camera to use, but I did get some pretty decent video. I'll put this video up. It was shot entirely on that camera. But yeah, when Beth and I traveled, the last time we took a trip was out to Olympic National Park, coming up on 2 years now. And I just took my G95 and the 12-60 and the 45-150. I believe I took the Laowa 7.5 millimeter ultra wide and the 40 millimeter f1.7 Lumix lens. I used the ultra wide one time. I used the Lumix 20 millimeter. I might have been once or twice. Primarily I used the 12-60. And so now that we're kind of planning a trip overseas next year, if the stars align, I was thinking a lot about what to take. And I've kind of determined that probably, especially if we're going to cities, I'm not going to take a mirrorless kit. I'm not going to take an interchangeable lens camera. I'm going to go primarily with this, the little DJI vlog camera, the Osmo Pocket 3, and my ZS200 for those times when I don't have enough zoom with this LX100 Mark II. Well, people will say, well, what about ultra wide? Yeah, sometimes you just got to make the decision that those are things you're not going to use. Now, you can still do panoramics with these cameras. You can do the sweep panoramic. I'm going to actually do a video about that, addressing quality with that, but you can also do stitched panoramas. So, and there's another thing that I've seen people say, and this kind of goes back to taking everything And it's just, I've spent all this money on this equipment. There's no way I'm not going to take it with me, and I understand that. When you're, you know, early on in your photography career, and you've got all this stuff, and you've spent all this money, you know, yeah, I understand. Take all that stuff. Hopefully, you have a very understanding partner or family, because when I see these folks out, especially folks my age, where a guy or gal is hiking with all of this photo equipment, and you know, it can be kind of trying on whoever you're traveling with. So there's that. And I'll finish up here by saying we had an experience, Beth and I had this experience over the past weekend, which kind of brought home to me the traveling light, traveling minimalist thing, especially if you're going with a spouse or partner. Union Pacific Railroad, they have this big steam locomotive. It's called a big boy. It has 16 drive wheels. And they take that locomotive out on excursions. It's kind of public relations. It was built, they have one of these. There are 8 in existence, they have one. There were like 20 of these at one time. They built them during World War II to haul freight over the Wasatch Mountains, which is just east of Salt Lake City, Utah. And they were finally phased out in like the early 60s. But what the Union Pacific did is they got a hold of one of these things. I mean, I don't know if they had to, I think they reacquired it, but they overhauled it, got into working shape, and now they use it for public relations. Well, they were coming through the Chicago area, not super close. They have a big intermodal yard out in Rochelle, Illinois, which is about, a little, maybe an hour and a half west of where we live. And so we thought, whoa, this would be really cool. Let's go out and see that. And I just decided to take my Osmo Pocket 3 and my Lumix ZS 200, because we talked about maybe taking a hike after we saw the locomotive. Well, we got out to Rochelle, and the traffic to go see this beast was backed up over a mile, say 1.5 kilometers, on the Ronald Reagan Tollway, Interstate 88, backed up. And as we got closer, I could see that the backup went off the road all the way to the rail yard. And we looked at each other and were like, yeah, nope, we're going to be sitting in the car for over an hour just to get to see this big steam locomotive. So we went, and Nachusa Grasslands, which I've done videos before on, is not far from there. And we decided to go and take a hike there. Unfortunately, that was the exit you got to get off at. And if anybody who knows Interstate 88 in Illinois, once you get past about Rochelle, there's not much else. And the next exit was 25 miles on. So we had to, go all that and backtrack to get to Nachusa Grasslands. But we took this really nice hike, about 2 miles. Fairly rugged. We're a flat state, but it doesn't mean it's not rugged. There's some bluffs and hills, a lot of ups and downs. And, but, just walking along with my Osmo Pocket 3 and my ZS 200 and a little fanny pack with a water bottle sleeve, it was really nice. And came away with some fairly decent photos. So I'm going to leave you with some images and video from that hike taken with the ZS 200 and the Osmo Pocket 3. Hope you enjoy that. If you do, bop the like button. It's a big help to me. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you next time.